Okay, since some of the today's discussion would also be going on my channel, so I'm just waiting for a cue from my producer so that my channel is on the standby. I think we'll start in about 20 seconds. I think we're good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Nikunj Dalmia, and I'm the stocks editor of India's #1 channel, which is ET Now. Sometimes what a difference 1 week can make. After the Fed communication, the world has taken a complete 180-degree turn. Fears that from a world of surplus liquidity, we could be staring at a tight liquidity regime has led to a synchronized sell-off in just about every asset class. Bonds have got shredded, money has been pulled out of equities, gold has got whacked, and precious metals have also taken a hard knock. So in this dynamic environment, what is the new normal for the world? At a time when we could be staring at strength in dollar, tight liquidity, and weakness in commodities, what should one buy? What should one avoid? And which is the best place to hide in this environment? So the question in front of the House and the question in front of the panel this evening is that is it time to buy greed? Is it time really to buy into the fear, or is this too risky to put money to work? With that introduction, let me first start with Naren. Naren, do you worry about the current global setup? What a difference 1 week can make?
No, actually, it was coming. When you have zero interest rates, you know that interest rates cannot remain zero all the time. And at some point of time, the government, the Fed in US had to cut quantitative easing. The problem is that there is no past precedent. It's pretty easy for a situation where you bring down interest rates from 8 to 5, like what you have done periodically in India, take it back. You do, in this case, you brought interest rates to zero, you did quantitative easing. And all that the Fed governor said was that they'll taper the quantitative easing. But because there's no past precedent of tapering of quantitative easing, the market gets very worried. And actually, I think the more people get worried, the more the opportunities are there for investment. In fact, zero interest rate, quantitative easing environment was obviously more dangerous than the current environment.
Sandeep, I guess Naren is making a very valid point. All the Fed has done, it has indicated that, look, we could be tapering off if US economy improves, and that is how you typically pull the quantitative easing plug out. If Fed has communicated what markets were expecting, then what explains this panic? Just about everything has got shredded.
See, the way we look at market for last many years, people are very, very skeptical about this whole move. People are not at all comfortable in participating in this rally, okay? And hence, participation is on the lower side, impact cost is on the higher side. And this is one of the key reasons when sometimes you see such sharp reaction, the impact is on the higher side. I'm saying if you talk about Fed movement also, what they are saying, they are clearly indicating that if economy improves, will reduce. So if that is the situation, I think it's a great news, okay? I still believe we are on the biggest liquidity-driven rally, which we started maybe a year back. I think it can continue maybe for another year or so.
Abhi, jump in on that one. What is this fear all about?
So it's quite surprising. In fact, over the last couple of years, financial markets have become quite strange in a sense that markets have got a lot more disconnected with the economic reality and corporate fundamentals, and have got a lot more related or correlated with the central bank action. It amuses me that whenever you have a weak economic data, you have payrolls declining, you have a weak housing starts, or you have a weaker consumer confidence, markets cheer it up because that means Fed is going to continue printing money. If there is a stronger economic data, I mean the market doesn't like it because that might means that Fed would be taking the punch bowl away, maybe which is very ridiculous. I mean at some point in time, Fed will have to unwind. But they clearly mentioned that it's going to be data dependent. They will only take they will start tapering off in case, and then they've made it very specific data dependent that if the joblessness, the unemployment rate falls below 7%, an economy shows signs of strong, I would say, recovery. In that case, if they remove, and if you look at the past history of 2 or 3 cases where the Fed has tightened, so let's say in 1994 or in 2003, that was a great time to be in the equity market. The first few days and few weeks, markets don't like it because you become so much dependent on liquidity, one single factor that drives the market. And incidentally, this is the first time in last 5 years after October 2008 where we have seen the correlation increasing among all asset classes. So equity, bonds, your commodities, everything has fallen together, including gold. But otherwise, in between for last 5 years, there has been the correlation got a little weakened, but again the correlation has gone up because again I mean the one single factor that has been driving the market today. So I think it's a good news in case Fed is increasing interest rates or they are taking the quantitative easing away from away because of the economic recovery. That cannot, I mean you can't have a better news than that from central bank. The only aspect which may not be very good for the market in case Fed tightens without actual substantial recovery on the ground, that may not be very good. In case they are wrong in their assessment that economy is now self-sustaining, recovering, and they take, then it's something like, let's say if you go back in history like 1936 or what the BOJ did in sometime in 2006 or 7 where they started tightening without understanding the economic reality. I think as far as I know over the last several decades of you know, if you read the Fed, they won't make it disruptive for the real economy, and I don't think they would like to give a real big jolt to the financial economy because that impacts the real economy a lot more today. So I don't think they will do in a very disruptive manner. I think over the next couple of days or weeks, hopefully the dust should settle.
Then when do you see the dust settling?
Actually, it's not going to be as easy as it may not settle immediately, but that doesn't mean there's a good buying opportunity. My reading is if you see particularly equities, it is not an asset class you buy when everything is all right. If you look at the last 7, 8 years, or go back even 10 years back, the same time, nothing was looking good. You had 9 years of no movement in markets. You had bad employment, no incomes. I mean, 10-year yields had come down at that time. And you had a big explosive market rally. Somewhere people want to invest in equities when everything is looking good. And there's no point in investing in equities. I think equities is the worst asset class to invest when everything is looking good. It's the best asset class at that time is normally gold. And unfortunately, people want to invest in good times in equity. That hasn't worked. That's why we have these pro-cyclical episodes of money coming into equities. If you see in India, money hasn't come after 2007 in equities. In US, money hasn't come except just recently, and they pulled out what $600 billion from equities in the last 6 years. So somewhere I feel that investors are getting captured by this greed and fear. So they don't want to invest in equities fearing so many things. They will invest one day when everything looks good, and they'll lose money in equities at that point.
No, Naren, completely with you when you make a case that stock markets are all about being contrarian. It's all about buying fear and selling greed. But how does one judge? How does one judge that what is the right time to buy?
See, I mean, my own personal belief when I looked at the last 10 years is times when FIs have been selling have been very good times to buy in India. Now, that is not something people realize. But if you go and see the 2 years where FIs have sold most, have been 1998 and 2008. And these were the best years for investment. If you take the last 3 years, August 2011 was the last time FIs sold $1 billion. This month may be the next. I think people who invested in August 2011 made money. This is the next month where there has been $1 billion. Pick out the years where FI buying has been peak. Go back to 2007, go back to 2009, second half, 2010. Those have been bad years for people to invest in equities. So I think if I take an India situation, my reading has been that FIs are the people who don't look at price and sell, who don't look at price and buy. And therefore, the opportunity for domestic investors is to buy when FIs are selling.
Sandeep, we have a broader audience here, and some members of this audience, they also invest in other asset classes. You've been of the view of late that it's time to avoid investing into real estate, time to give gold a skip but buy equities, and it's time to go all in. Why is that?
Okay. See, a couple of reasons if you look at, money is clearly shifting from bonds, from commodities, and what are the options left? it's equity which is performing. Okay, I still maintain that view. Next 2 years belongs to equity, despite everybody has a very pessimistic view on the markets. My own personal opinion, the gold is below $1,000. Okay, I'm talking about COMEX gold. If you look at gold, it's going to come off significantly. Money has to move out. Clearly reflected everywhere. Pessimism is there across the globe. And it's the best time to participate, what Narendra was highlighting. And I agree with his analysis. We have also observed that whenever we have seen FI, particularly in the last 4-5 years, they have been aggressive seller. We have reaching inflection points. See, one should be very clear. We are in secular bull run for next 2 years perspective. Within secular bull run, you will see some corrections here and there, and so right now is a consolidation phase. We have been very aggressive for last 1.5 years on US market, Japanese market, and within emerging market about India. But within India, it is about few sectors, not broader market in general.
So you are not of the view that the brick has hit a wall. In fact, you are of the view that the best for Indian equities is yet to come?
I think next year will be phenomenal. See, we are bearish on the commodities currency. So we talk about Brazil or Australia or China. These are the market I'm extremely bearish, even including Russia. Because I look at commodity prices coming off further from these levels.